Due to these statements, Zegler has been labeled a PR nightmare.
What is it like for you now having all of this? I think it's a lot of pressure, right?
It's definitely a lot of pressure, but I surround very good people who keep me grounded and try to just stay as true to myself as I possibly can.
With this video of Rachel Zegler alone in a theater watching herself. One of the most unlikable humans.
That
ever.
is sadder than when the original Snow White used to be.
Rachel Zegler's final Evita rehearsal explodes. She threw a prop on stage. Behind the scenes, meltdown footage just leaked, sparking massive controversy. She didn't just storm off. She didn't just argue. She allegedly threw a prop across the stage during the final Evita Rachel Zegler. And now that moment, the one insiders have whispered about for weeks, has reportedly been caught on video.
Never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. When I say that this has been the biggest adjustment of my life, understanding the way my life operates now, being who I am, and the things that I've been so fortunate to make. It comes with so much ground that I never thought I would be able to cover.
According to multiple sources close to the production, the leaked footage captures the exact moment everything spiraled. The scene is intense, emotionally raw. Rachel is mid-performance when she suddenly breaks character, shouts something off mic, and hurls what appears to be a rehearsal prop, possibly a scarf or a small handheld mic, clear across the stage. The cast freezes. The crew stops. For a few long seconds, everything goes dead silent. This is the moment fans have been trying to piece together for weeks. The incident behind the lawsuit, the final straw before her removal, the chaos that led to leaked director notes calling her a nightmare to work with. And now it's out.
This is just a huge attempt by her PR team to make her seem like she's apologetic for the things that she's said about Snow White and the things that she's said about the upcoming film coming out. Don't believe it.
The clip, which has reportedly been shared in private West End group chats and media inboxes, is short, under 30 seconds, but it's enough to make a big impact. Not only does it seem to back up parts of the producer's original lawsuit, but it also brings up new concerns. Who was filming? Was this really a sudden moment or something planned? If Rachel's new countersuit is true, the one where she says the Evita team made the set toxic and leaked private footage to ruin her image, then maybe this clip isn't the proof people think it is. Maybe it's a trap.
You would have to be living under a rock to not know about all of the backlash that Rachel Zegler has been getting for being a complete bozo. Every time I see this video, I just keep reminding myself that she is an actress. You can tell that she's acting. Check this out.
And other people think I'm doing gracefully, and I don't think I'm doing it at all. Well, when I tell you that it's hard, I just mean to be inside my brain. Because that's hard.
It's so hard for me to go out there and be an actress and make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Rachel Zegler should probably come out and just throw all of the seven magical creatures under the bus and turn everybody's gaze to them so that way she stops taking so much heat.
And that's what makes this leak even more explosive, because depending on who you believe, this wasn't just a diva losing control. It was a young actress being pushed too far. So what really happened that day? What led up to this moment? Who else was involved? And why does this one rehearsal, this one outburst, feel like the moment everything fell apart? Let's go back, because the day Rachel allegedly threw that prop wasn't just tense. It was the start of everything coming undone.
Unfortunately, the only thing I can really say is that that is not my story to tell. Those are not my updates to give. And in the film industry, when you are an actor, when you sign one of these contracts in the entertainment industry, I think a lot of people on the outside think that if you are somebody who has a lot of publicity around you and your name's attached to a project, that means you have a ton of control or a ton of intel, but usually that is not the case. Unless you are Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively with all of the films apparently, or Margot Robbie in Barbie, and you are also an executive producer. As an actor, you don't get to dictate anything. You don't get to dictate if the film actually happens. You don't get to dictate when it is shot, how it is shot, if you can ever speak about it to the public. You are simply just there to show up and say your lines and look the way they want you to look. That is our job, and that was my job on this production. So again, that's really all I can say.
It was supposed to be routine. The cast of Evita had gathered for what many thought would be a normal final run-through. The house lights were low, the tech crew was ready, and rehearsal scripts were no longer needed. Everyone knew where to stand, and everyone understood how important this moment was. But even before the first note was sung, people inside the room said the tension was already heavy.
Took a pause and realized what I was auditioning for, and then it became like I will elbow everyone out of here to play that part.
One assistant stage manager, who allegedly spoke off the record, said the mood that day felt tense and strange, like something bad was about to happen. Rachel had reportedly arrived almost 15 minutes late, not late enough to get officially written up, but just enough to make the director and choreographer take notice. And that wasn't the only problem.
This is the real beginning of my life as a young lady. Of America.
The same source says Rachel missed the usual warm-up, which is a red flag in theater. Instead of joining the vocal and movement exercises with the cast, she stayed seated on the side, looking through notes and quietly drinking from a branded water bottle. By the time the rehearsal started, the mood was already tense.
I was actually, oddly enough, auditioning for a Broadway show of a very famous Broadway musical that was having a revival, and the producers and directors were ordering lunch while I was singing.
When you're there and you're trying to do your best, you've worked on this part, you spend hours and hours on end trying to get this character just down right for your big audition, and then if you have a producer or casting director sitting there and then eating food in front of you, yeah, it can be very annoying. Personally, I've never had that experience.
From the beginning, something felt wrong. Rachel reportedly missed an important cue in the first act. A supporting actor, who is not named, tried to quietly help her get back in place. That's when, according to several witnesses, Rachel sharply said, "I know where I'm supposed to be." The cast kept going, but the problems were starting to show.
One day less from take me out. Meow.
By the time they got to Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, the pressure was very high. Rachel reportedly messed up the emotional part of the scene, missing a turn and forgetting to drop to her knees. The director called out corrections. According to sources, that was when everything changed. Rachel reportedly lost focus, turned to the production table, and stopped. She looked clearly upset. The music kept playing, but she seemed tired. Then she suddenly raised her voice.
There was an in-depth piece, like a behind-the-scenes piece, talking about how they've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now.
She didn't shout, but spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. What she said exactly varies depending on who you ask, but what came next was clear. Just moments later, she picked up a prop from a nearby part of the set and threw it.
I've been told by a number of different
Oh God.
human beings
No.
might be the worst or best from some perspective at breaking in.
Yeah. So he's a liar. Print that.
She was enjoying herself.
And it was only with Jacqueline Grazer. That was the only time I ever broke. No one else ever broke me, I don't.
Rachel's rehearsal meltdown. What really happened? During a tense rehearsal, Rachel Zegler threw a prop, a scarf, script, or paper note across the stage. It landed with a loud slap, freezing the room in silence. She didn't apologize, just walked off, muttering about disrespect. The director filed a formal report, calling her behavior escalated, disruptive. Days later, she was removed, and a lawsuit followed. But leaked footage changed everything. Was it a meltdown or a setup? Rachel's countersuit claims she was provoked, isolated, and baited into reacting. The clip, filmed secretly, surfaced suspiciously after her legal pushback. Was it a planned takedown? Now, the internet is split. Unprofessional outburst or justified breaking point? With lawsuits ongoing, the truth hinges on what or who leaks next. Stay tuned. This story isn't over.